I'm just talking, top rope walking, ultimate Xing, serious flexing, never be vague with your boy Craig, and opinion mixing from Pete to Nixon, keep doing things in an impactful way, bloody nonsense as the Brits say, talking bloody nonsense.
Yes, it's me, it's the MIC, Craig, aka Mr. Impact. Joined as always by the one and only Peter Nixon. This is Talking Bloody Nonsense right here on the TNAW channel. It's a new week, it's a new Impact, but first things first. Nixon, how's it going?
It's a drizzly old day here in Cambridge. I wanted to talk about the Pro Wrestling East show this weekend. Easily the best show that PWE have done. I don't know when the matches will go on YouTube, but look out for them because there's 4 Match of the Year candidates easily. The 2 tournament finals for the championships, Charlie Morgan and Nightshade, and RJ Singh and Gene Money, both incredible matches. So yeah, very proud to be a small part of that company. And after the men's tournament final, I took the mic and have challenged RJ Singh to a championship match at the February 25th show called, I don't know the last name. But yeah, I'll be getting the first championship shot at RJ Singh.
Very cool. Yeah, there's Peter couldn't make it to that one, but my brain can be a right dick sometimes. But the card that show was going to be excellent. The card looked great, so you knew it was going to be a great show. And go to as matches when they drop, because I will be, because it looked like a bang card. I guess we should take it on over to our main headline for this week. Not Impact Wrestling, although we will be getting into Overdrive later on, and we'll give our predictions as we normally do. We're going to start with some BritWres news and some, I guess some people can consider it a bit controversial. Progress Wrestling recently announced that they're teaming up with a promotion in Dubai and taking Progress to Dubai in December, I believe. And it caused a bit of a clash online from a lot of Progress fans, mainly because of the laws in the UAE, United Arab Emirates, of talking of, obviously, by now, these, if you don't, it's the big issues were that the women have to be completely covered, and same-sex relationships and same-sex marriages are illegal over there, which rightly so caused a lot of backlash amongst the a lot of the LGBTQ plus community in wrestling. Progress released a statement explaining why they're going, and explained it basically said they want wrestling to be available to everyone, which is why they're going over, and they want to make progress from where improve that the essentially making sure that everyone can be included at shows in the UAE in the future. Have every type of person allowed to be their true selves. What's your take on this? Because it has caused a lot of backlash, more from a political standpoint, but it's obviously it's a difficult situation. If you go to a country, the rules, but when the rules are when a company like Progress, who are all about claim to be all about inclusivity, and they're going to a country where not everyone can be included, and it's a lot of fans feel like they can't travel to the UAE and be themselves because of these rules, of these laws that are in place over there. What's your take on it? It's a difficult situation, but for a company who claims to be inclusive and to go here, could it and will it damage the reputation of Progress?
Boy, there is a lot to talk about with this topic. So we're aware that same-sex marriage is illegal. Same-sex relationships in general are illegal, and we know women have to be covered up, from the neck down.
Yeah.
That's their culture, and there has been progress. Pardon the, well, it's not a pun, but they are making strides to change these laws and these outlooks, but until then, we need to respect their culture. I know it's bollocks.
Yeah.
Same-sex marriage should be, same-sex relationships should be, the norm. But that's not what their culture believes. Things will change, but we need to respect their culture until that happens. We can encourage it, encourage the change. I don't know how you would do that. I'm not a political activist. Yeah. I heard yesterday, in fact, that one of the pubs in Cambridge is boycotting the Qatar World Cup, will not be showing it because of these, laws.
Yeah.
And that's their prerogative. I will not be doing that in my pub. We are going to make money from this from this tournament. We could not afford to boycott the World Cup, and I wouldn't anyway. Because like I said, that's their culture. It should be respected. But I touched on it just then. Money. That has to be the reason that Progress are doing shows in Dubai. I imagine they've been given a massive cash incentive to go over there. Yeah. And that's fine. WWE are doing Saudi Arabia shows, and people say it's blood money because of that journalist that got disappeared.
Yeah.
But Conrad Thompson said this on one of his podcasts recently. When you look out into the crowd during the Saudi Arabia shows, it's mostly kids, and they don't have a clue about journalists or blood money. They're just there to have a good time. So why shouldn't WWE take their product to Saudi Arabia to please these children and to entertain the people out there?
Yeah.
So there's so much more to talk about on this subject. I think, was it Dubai that Charlie Morgan and Alex Windsor recently went to?
Yeah. Main evented a show over there about a month or so ago.
Yeah.
And had a banger like they can.
Yeah. Charlie Morgan is in a very public same-sex relationship.
Yeah.
So, like I said, things are changing over there. Attitudes are changing in that area, that region of the world. Hello, Dinky. Hello, my darling. You need to mind the microphone. Oh, dear.
Got a lot to say.
Hold up. I think I've made most of the points I wanted to make.
Yeah.
Carry on, Trey.
Yeah, it's a difficult situation. It really is, because the fact that they're so far behind in terms of seeing people in the LGBTQ plus community as people, I think that's the main issue. They they don't recognize that they have same rights as everyone else, which is beyond ridiculous in this world. But again, it's, I'm not defending that in any way. It's beyond ridiculous. But those people who live in the UAE don't know any different. This is how they were raised. This is what they believe in, and it's, I think it has to be more to do with an education more than just not giving them the same rights as everyone else. People need to be educated on this thing, but in that culture, it's not going to happen because no one there is willing to educate them for fear, I guess. Progress going, it must have very high financial implications that I can't see why they would. Progress is still an independent company. Yes, they have a working relationship with the WWE. They're still an independent promotion, and they won't take their talent, they won't take their show to another country if they weren't benefiting from this financially. It is such a mess. Like, obviously, it is political, but the wrestling side of it shouldn't be.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. Wrestling is for everyone. That's the main factor here. Wrestling is inclusive. Where they're going, unfortunately, isn't. But wrestling, it doesn't mean the people there. Again, it's all about the fact they haven't been educated in the LGBTQ plus community. Even though there statistically there are people in the LGBTQ plus community in the UAE. Statistically, there has to be.
Yeah.
But again, it's fear, which is ridiculous, and it is just a absolute mess. And I understand it from both sides. Progress want to make money, and that's fair enough. But I also understand where the fans are coming from on this as well, because if they want to attend this show, that they can't be themselves. Which,
same as the wrestlers.
Yeah, it's. You mentioned Crown Jewel and WWE going to Saudi, which, again, that's all to do with money. But WWE have such a brand where they don't everyone knows WWE's main thing is making money, and that's what they do. So it's fair enough. I'm trying to think of how to talk about this when it came out, because I just don't know. It's such a layered topic that you can pick something off, but then there's something underneath it which relates to the top part. I think if people want to boycott Progress, that's down to them. That's their decision, and if they feel that's the right decision, then that's the right decision for them.
Yeah.
Progress thinking going over there is the right decision for them. It's the right decision for them. We can't tell people they're wrong for having their own personal opinions. We may not agree with them. We don't have to agree with them. But because TNA went over to Abu Dhabi, I believe, a few years ago, and I think it was Valiant Sky, Madison Rayne, who had the first women match in Abu Dhabi, which it's such a historical thing. I do. Yeah, go ahead.
If you go back to, I'm just making a point about WWE here. If you go back to the first Saudi show that WWE did, there was no women on the card whatsoever. On the second show they did, Natalia wrestled Lacey Evans, I think, body suits, baggy shirts, very minimal makeup. And that was monumental. Fast forward to Crown Jewel week before, and there's women all over the card, fully made up, and Rhea Ripley was basically wearing bondage gear.
Yeah.
So this is the norm now. So progress in that 4 years, that's the progress we've made.
Yeah, I mean, Dubai, they're trying to be as forward thinking as their beliefs will allow them to be.
Yeah,
which it is a step in the right direction. Alcohol was illegal in the UAE for years. Now they've kind of opened it up to the point where you can drink, but you can't be drunk in public.
Mm-hmm.
Which is pretty much the same as the States. You can't be drunk in public in the States either.
It's the same in the UK. It's illegal to be drunk in a public place.
Yeah, so it's and there's only there's only like 2 or 3 bars, but it's in the hotel, and you can only drink in the hotel. Which again, that's pretty much everywhere. So it's all about progressing. This isn't a political show, so we don't want to get too deep on it. But it's all about people's beliefs and their cultures, and you have to respect that. But also the respect has to go 2 ways. But if you go into someone's country, you have to abide by their rules, even if you don't believe in them. So this can be a positive step if it's all done the correct way. This is a positive step in the fact that even if Charlie Morgan and Alex Windsor, to focus on Charlie Morgan for a second, like I said, she's very openly in a same-sex relationship and was featured on that card, and the match got rave reviews. No comments that I saw even mentioned the fact that she was in a same-sex relationship. She's focused on the wrestling. If that's what it can be focused on, of course, that is a huge deal that she could be herself in a country. So I think, it's all about making steps. It's going to take a while, but progress is happening. Literally.
Yeah.
So I think if that's what progress believe, that's what they want to do, let them do it. If people want to also boycott the shows because of them going over, again, go for it. If that's your belief and how you feel, then no one can tell you how you should, what your opinion should be on this. I'm very torn. I don't go one way or the other. I think both have a point in what they're doing. So, but all in all, I think it should be about enjoying wrestling. That should be the main focus here. If we're fortunate that obviously we don't get WWE an awful lot, but we get it a lot more than most countries. AEW come over here. Impact came over here and were the biggest promotion over here for a very long time, and in some respects still are. So it's other companies aren't so fortunate in getting all these wrestlers, and some of the best wrestlers are on the British scene right now.
Definitely.
So I think that's all we can pretty much say on that. That
was some good chat, Craig. I don't think we're going to get cancelled for that.
No, it's a conversation that needed to be had. Let us know what your thoughts are on that. It's a layered topic, but it's something that needs to be discussed, and I think we did well.
Yeah, definitely.
But now we're going to move on to some Impact news. And after last week's Impact and Chelsea Green was defeated by Mickey James. Chelsea Green headed off and said she's done. She wants she's going home, which has now got everyone's. Chelsea Green is obviously stated publicly that she wants to leave. She wants to go back to WWE, which again a lot of people do. Can't fault for that. So I'll get your thoughts on Chelsea Green, but also for all the eagle-eyed fans amongst us watching last week's Impact, Steve Macklin was backstage hammering down Scott D'Amore's door. Tommy Dreamer popped up, which we're getting a match Steve Macklin, Tommy Dreamer, which is But in the background, a certain former world champion came out of I guess it was a locker room or changing room. It was Johnny Impact, John Morrison, Johnny Everyname.
Johnny Everyname.
And Alicia pushed him back inside pretty much, realizing the cameras were on him. Whether that was, again, I think Johnny Impact has got to be the main focus here in this one. Was that set up? Is Johnny Impact going to return to Impact? What's your take on it?
I think that was an intentional cameo. It looked too set up. It looked too perfect. And if it wasn't on purpose, why didn't they just retape it?
Yeah.
I don't know if that means Johnny Impact is coming back. I'm fine with it if he does. If he doesn't, that would be a shame, but no harm done. We've got a great roster already. I enjoyed that cameo. I thought it was a fun little, bit for, like you said, eagle-eyed viewers.
Yeah, it was very fun, and like you said, like you pointed out, I didn't think of that. They could have reshot it had it been an accident, or maybe it was an accident and they just decided to keep it in anyway.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't know, but it's not beyond the realms of possibility for Johnny Impact to come back. Or Johnny Everyname.
Yeah. We've seen Johnny pop up on AEW a couple of times. If he does pop up in Impact, I doubt he'll sign a long-term contract. But maybe he's just in and out every now and then, and that would be great. I would be absolutely fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, if it got a reason to bring him in the fact that Josh Alexander just overtook his world title reign. So that's something built in. I do think it was an error. I think Johnny Impact heard someone banging down a door and just came out to see what was going on. But if that was the case, surely they would have warned people in the corridor that they were filming.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe it was just set up just to give people a little pop. If it did pop you, but I would like Johnny Impact to come back. I wasn't a fan of his world title reign. Well, I wasn't. It was, although he played a great heel.
Yeah.
As a world champion, I wasn't that into it.
I don't know. That Johnny Impact's title reign was marred by the fact that people were ready for Brian Cage to be the world champion.
Yeah, and obviously it began in weird circumstances with Austin Aries.
Yeah.
Which Austin Aries took great delight in telling me that was a work.
Yeah.
Didn't respond to me. He DM'd me.
Oh, right.
Austin Aries DM'd me.
Oh, that's cool.
Saying it was all a work.
I know Austin Aries is a controversial figure in wrestling because of his beliefs about, vaccines and masks and that, and he got some negative attention during the pandemic.
Yeah,
but you can't deny what a hell of a wrestler.
Yeah, he's fantastic. I mean,
I'd be totally in favor of him coming back for one last run with Impact.
Yeah, I mean, it's not beyond the realms of possibility. I mean, TJP was also very outspoken about his feelings on all that, and
Low
he was
key as well.
champion. Yeah, So I think if people can I mean, if he comes back as a heel, then it'll work better.
Yeah, definitely.
So-
He's always a better heel.
But get back onto the topic. Oh, another little tangent there for you. Chelsea Green walked out, went home after the loss to Mickey James. And reports now she's done with Impact. She's done her time with Impact. What do you think is next for Chelsea Green? Like, John Perazzo obviously now John hasn't got a partner, but Chelsea's also stated that she's had no contact from WWE about her return.
She would say that if she
Obviously,
was being brought back as a surprise.
Again, that's true, but I mean, she's seen once on WWE TV in a run. Has she built up enough of a name to get that big pop to come back? I mean,
No.
So you look at Emma, her return to Neil Dashwood. Like, people, it was a cheer, but it wasn't Emma's back moment. And now she's just flitting around. She faced Ronda Rousey for SmackDown Women's title, and now she's being put into an angle with her real life partner in Madcap Moss.
Yeah.
But that got
Which is bollocks, by the way. Like,
yeah.
They're going to do a will they, won't they relationship angle when they're publicly in a relationship.
Yeah. I mean, Madcap was making his feelings known that he wants Neil back in WWE, Emma back in WWE, and it's happened. I don't know if he had any pull in that, but which I doubt, because last thing I knew was with Baron Corbin, and now he's just a generic wrestler.
Yeah.
But with Chelsea Green, what do you think Chelsea Green does? Because I've seen the NW. I think that might be another topic for another day, but NWA seems to put the final nail in its coffin.
Yeah, it's imploding, isn't it, the NWA?
Yeah, but we'll get into that. So that's not, and NWA don't really sign anyone. Is it? Do you think she's heading back to WWE, or is AEW a shout for her? Loads of friends over there.
I think it's more than likely she'll go back to WWE, but I don't know what they'll do with her. We've been open about the fact that she's not the best. She's okay, but she gets injured a lot.
Yeah.
It's rich for me to say that Chelsea Green is injury prone, but the fact is she got injured. She broke her wrist in her SmackDown debut.
Yeah.
She wrestled with an injured arm during her Impact run. She got injured multiple times in NXT and WWE. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if WWE are interested. I think it's more than likely she'll end up there, but Lord knows what they'll do with her.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because there isn't a lot for her to do. As a singles competitor, not the best. Her match with Mickey James was fine. Like, it was. I think Mickey put a lot of work into that to make it as good as it was.
Yeah.
As a tag team, as a heel, she's great.
Yeah.
Like, I rate her as a heel and a tag team.
Yeah.
But the WWE tag team division is a mess. The women's tag team division is a mess. It's two random wrestlers teaming up and winning the titles. I mean, obviously got Damage Control, the Io Sky, and Dakota Kai, which still makes me chuckle every time I hear that. But I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of Chelsea Green. Even as Laura Van Ness, I wasn't that into it. You should. All credit to her. Really know how to book them. Just an interesting thing with that. If you're to read, it's obviously, she must realize that it's going to take a lot for it to get used. But I guess at this point, she knows she's getting paid at least.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a lot more than Impact can pay. So fair play. If that's what she wants to do, go for it. But without the major players, that there's
Sorry, Craig, I asked you without the major players.
Yeah, it's just without major players, there's not a lot. She was a big key part in that and did a great job as that heel. I guess she's more of a valet at that point in the major players. But
The thing is, though, Matt Cardona and Brian Myers will be fine without Chelsea Green.
Yeah, completely. So I don't know. I think WWE is probably where she's going to go, and fair enough. If they can make use, if they can find something for her to do, go for it. But now we're going to get onto Overdrive. We'll give our thoughts on the card first, and in the final 10, like we normally do, we'll give our predictions on who we think will win. So we'll start off Impact World Championship. Josh Alexander versus Frankie Kazarian. What have you made up to the build-up for this? They've really gone in on making Frankie Kazarian seem like a legit contender, which we already knew he could be. But how do you think their build of this match has been?
That hype video they did for Frankie Kazarian on last week's Impact was outstanding, and it really made me believe that Frankie Kazarian could beat Josh Alexander at Overdrive. So I'm hyped for this match.
So I feel like I should be. That video was excellent. I mean, Impact, when it comes to videos like that, they've got that down. They did well. They did well for Alex Shelley a few months ago.
Pardon me.
But I'm still not fully hyped for this one. I know it's going to be an excellent match, but my brain's thinking like they're going to pull all this these video packages, have all this hype for it. Is Frankie Kazarian really going to win at Overdrive? Like, is that where they do it?
They put the
But is
EXITS
Josh
on
going
him.
to lose? Yeah, but that was Battle for Glory. Is it?
It's Overdrive from Kentucky, baby.
I mean, I don't know where I stand on this one, but it's since I think since Eddie really, they've really Josh has got a lot more behind it. It's more of a title reign with Josh now than it was before Eddie. I think because before Eddie, Josh was just there and would defend the title, whoever came up. And I say a little bit, I was joining Alex Shelley stuff as well, but from Alex Shelley to Eddie, like they really built Josh.
Yeah. Which
was something that was needed because otherwise he was just popping up and defending the belt, which was great, but there wasn't much more to it other than oh, well, we know Josh is going to win this title match because he's not going to lose. So I'm excited for the match itself, but whether actually Kaz wins is a different story. We'll get into that in the final 10 now. Next up, announced the last couple of days, the Knockouts World Championship match, last knockout standing, Jordan Grace versus Masha Slamovich.
Oh, yes.
Again, a lot of people are saying that, well, Masha's only just come back and she's immediately got a title match. There's no build to this. What what's your take on that? Did it need a massive build up because Marsha's been on TV and her last loss was against Jordan, and now she's back and she's got a title match?
No, I don't think she needs a massive build-up because she went on that long undefeated run, very, very dominant throughout the year, lost her first match in a match of the year candidate against Jordan Grace at the biggest show of the year. So, yeah, I'm fine with her jumping straight back into the title picture with very little build-up. And I think, I mean, we're not on predictions yet, but I think she's going to win the title.
I mean, either way, this match is going to be fantastic.
Oh, yes.
This is Marsha's wheelhouse. Last knockout standing. And yeah, I can't wait to see what happens. I agree. In fact, yeah, Marsha didn't need this. She didn't need I mean, when she first lost, I felt like they should have had her come back straight away and back and just go on a tear, because now she's back and she's pissed off.
Yeah,
Marsha's pissed off now, and she's gonna have. This is a wheelhouse. She's very, very good at this style of match. And yeah, I know she wants a death match, but I think it's probably the closest she's going to get to an Impact.
I think they'll work their way up to a similar style match that Marsha and Ali Catch had.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm excited for it. It's going to be a banger. Next is Bully Ray versus Moose in a tables match. Again, I know a lot of people are struggling to find a shit to give. What's your feelings on this one?
Well, I'm fine with it. It should be a fun little match. I think if they're keeping Bully Ray strong to challenge Josh, then it's highly unlikely that Moose wins. But yeah, it's been a fun little feud so far. I've been into it, and yeah, it should be a decent match. It's not going to blow the roof off of the Paris Town Hall, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it would get a pop because it's Bully Ray in a tables match.
Yeah, exactly. In Kentucky.
Yeah, it's obviously they're planning on keeping Bully around for a while, so why not make the most of having him there, have him go up against one of your top guys, and I mean if Moose loses, then it's like, but it isn't. I don't think it harms him as much as people would think, because it's still Moose. He's still had a great World Championship run, even though it was short. Still had a great run.
Oh yeah,
and is a great heel. Bully Ray, yeah, obviously they're pushing to face Josh, but against a tables match, he's not being pinned. It's basically you need 5 seconds of distraction, and you can put him for a table. Like I don't think a loss hurts really any momentum because it's a tables match. It's not like it's being pinned clean. But yeah, I'm interested to get into predictions on that one. But next up, we don't know who it is, but we know the Extreme Championship is on the line. Joe Miguel is one of them, but we don't know who's facing yet. And we'll find out tonight on Impact.
Dinky, are you? Are you? Is that Dinky?
Like where?
I think she's seen herself on the screen. But she doesn't understand that it's her.
Yeah, I had a dog like that. He looked in the mirror and would bark at himself.
Yeah.
Like, it's another dog in my house, get out. But back on to the X-Division tournament. PJ Black is victorious tonight. Who wins that? And ultimately, who goes on to win the X-Division title?
We were talking about this before we started recording, weren't we? I can't call it. I can't call who's going to win out of PJ Black and Black Taurus. And yeah, I mean, it's still all to play for with the X Division tournament. Here's the thing, I think if Black Taurus beats PJ Black, Black Taurus will be the X Division champion. If PJ Black pins Black Taurus, then Trey Miguel will be the X Division champion. I can't see PJ Black walking out with the X Division title for whatever reason. Just can't see it.
Yeah, and it's no disrespect to PJ Black. He's a great wrestler. As Justin Gabriel in WWE, I thought he's very underrated and one of the best high flyers, if you like, WWE had in that time. As part of Nexus, he was excellent. But no, I think this one goes to Black Taurus and Impact, and all in all, yeah, Black Taurus but Black Taurus as Trey Miguel will be an excellent match. Like I said, before this tournament even began, I said whatever match we get in the final is going to be great. Whoever comes out of those brackets and gets to the final, we're going to have a great X Division champion either way. So I'm excited to see it and I imagine this one may open the show, which I'll be all for.
Okay.
Next up, we have the Impact World Tag Team titles. Heath and Ryan was the major players. Now, Impact may have shot themselves in the foot a bit here because they announced the match for the tapings the following night. They've announced Heath and Rhino versus Mercy Machine Guns for the Impact World Tag Team titles. Impact may have shot themselves in the foot by announcing this one. That's the match you don't announce. Even if they plan on major players winning, you don't. They could have. I looked at the map for Overdrive and the TV tapings for 2 nights. There's maybe 2 lines of seats left and a few individual seats splattered around. It's going to be all but sold out by the time it gets there. So they didn't need to plug this match because it's going to be a capacity crowd. What's your take on that? Should they've announced that one if they know Heath and Rhino aren't going to win tag titles, or they are going to win tag titles? They need to. They've done this a couple of times, but what's your take?
I think it could very well be a red herring.
Yeah.
I think the way you're supposed to read it is Heath and Rhino are wrestling the Motor City Machine Guns at the TV tapings. If Heath and Rhino are still the champions, the titles will be on the line. If not, then they won't. But yeah, I think they've announced it as a tag title match as a red herring. I think the major players will win the titles. Whether that's the right thing to do or not, I'm not sure. It's Swerve, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I don't know if that's the right thing to do in terms of swerving your audience.
Yeah, if it was a case of plugging the match to sell TV tapings, that doesn't need to happen because it's all but sold out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm looking forward to this one because it should be a really, really solid tag team match. For the on the card previously, they had Brian Myers with the Digital Media Championship, but that's no longer the case because Joe Hendry is the Digital Media Champion, which is fantastic. So but anyway, it should be a really cool match for the tag titles. Now the Knockouts tag team titles, Death Dolls versus Steels and Evans. Again, happened because Savannah pinned Havoc, Jessica. Doing that for title matches where the champion loses in a singles match and they give them title. How are you feeling on this one, Savannah? Given that Tasha is Tasha's contract running up.
I'm not massively hyped for it. I think ever since Tasha lost the Knockouts title, she's been a non-factor. And I can't see Tasha and Savannah being the new champions. I think Death Dolls have only just gotten started. They're over. They've got merch. You know, they've got a good presentation. I can't see them losing belts just yet.
No, I don't know how this one's going to go. I really don't, because the Knockouts tag titles, they flip-flopped a lot. And they could lose. I generally can't call this one. But I think touch on that in predictions after this, because the final matchup recently announced, Mickie James versus Taylor Wilde, which in the last rodeo, yes, Mickie James, Taylor Wilde, excited for it?
Oh yeah, you know this is going to be a good one. Mickie James has been having outstanding as part of the last rodeo. That match against Mia Yim at Bound for Glory was excellent. The Giselle Shaw match was tremendous. I expect nothing less from her and Taylor Wilde.
Yeah, it's going to be a banger. It's, like I said, their careers have almost paralleled each other. Never faced off in one-on-one action. It's not very often you don't get a lot of firsts in wrestling anymore, and this is one. And it's Taylor Wilde is someone who's very underrated. Mickie James, one of the best. It's the best ever been. It's going to be a cracking match. Just before we move on quickly, there's been a lot of talk. Taylor's teasing a heel turn. Do you see that sort of that happening?
Nah.
No.
How can you possibly boo Taylor Wilde?
That's the thing. I mean, obviously I think it's come from the fact that she's been posting these witchy-esque pictures, but she's always been doing. She's been on social media. I don't think it's gonna be
a witch.
Yeah.
She's into witchcraft
in
real life. So yeah, that's not a tease of a heel turn.
No,
that's just her.
It's what she's into. But I'm excited for it. So I guess a few minutes early, but what the hell? Let's head on over to the final 10, 10, 10, and we'll give our predictions for the matches coming up. So we'll go in reverse order to what we just read out as Mickie James for Taylor Wilde.
I got you, darling.
Mickie James versus Taylor Wilde. Who are you going with?
Mickie James.
Yeah, I agree. There's no way Mickey's last radio isn't coming up yet. It's not going to happen against Taylor Wilde, because even though it could, but Taylor Wilde doesn't need it. Whoever beats Mickie James, they're going to be on a trajectory to the very top.
Yeah,
I don't see it being Taylor Wilde. So I've got to go Mickie James on that one. Death Dolls versus Steels and Evans. I'm going to say Steels and Evans, because the tag titles are unpredictable.
Very true.
I've got to go Steels and Evans.
I'm the other way. Like I just said, I think Death Dolls are on a good run. I think Death Dolls helps.
Yeah, I think like I said, the tag titles are so they flippy flop a lot, and if Steels is on the way out, then I think, if they're gonna do it, they're gonna do it now. If they don't, then they don't. But I can see it happening. Heath and Rhino, major players, Impact World Tag Team Championships. I really want to be major players, and I think it's going to be major players.
I agree. I think major players take the belts.
Yeah. Heath and Rhino, they've had their run. I think it was only going to be a transitional championship for Heath and Rhino. And I think now major players, you've got them right there. Brian Myers just lost the Digital Media Championship. They clearly want to focus on the tag team titles.
Good.
So I'm going to go with major players as new tag team champions. X Division Championship. So think so. Put it right now. The final. Who are you going with?
What match was that? Sorry, Craig.
Extras and title. X division.
I know you're going to say Black Taurus, so I'm going to say Trey Miguel.
I think it's Black Taurus. It's time. He's had bangers and bangers in this division, and hasn't lost in singles competition in the next division. So I think it'd be interesting dynamic. Bully Ray Moose tables match. I'm saying Bully Ray because they obviously want to.
I think purely because it's a tables match.
Yeah, it's Bully's wheelhouse. He's not going to lose. You know, he has lost a tables match before, and I mean for about 7. But no, I think he's going to walk out at this point. Who's been there for Jordan Grace, Marsha Slamovich, Knockouts World Championship, last knockout standing. I'm saying Jordan, but the feud continues and Marsha wins at Hard to Kill.
I'm the other way. I think Marsha Slamovich wins the title, so you can build Jordan back up in order to take the belt back from Marsha.
Okay. Then Impact World Championship, Josh Alexander, Frankie Kazarian. Who are you going with?
Oh, I'm conflicted because that promo video was so good. It made me believe that Kazarian might have a chance of taking the belt, but let's be real. Josh Alexander retains here.
Yeah, I agree. It's like you say, Macklin is the next world champion. There's no doubt in my mind that Steve Macklin is next Impact World Champion. Although I think beating Frankie Kazarian could do a lot for him, I think beating Josh Alexander after he's become the longest reigning Impact World Champion, I think that is a lot more for Macklin. And along the way, they can have, like I said, maybe someone has a chat with Papa H, and we get Bobby Roode.
Oh, how good would that be?
It's more a possibility. So I think Josh wins, but Macklin will be the next world champion. And I guess that's that.
Just on the subject of Overdrive, because that's 7 matches. Do you see any matches being added? For example, Kenny King versus Speedball Mike Bailey?
Yeah, I mean, Impact could very well add some tonight, and Kenny King and Speedball could be one. I mean, but Speedball is 2-0 against King. I just don't know. I think it's a possibility. And also for the pre-show, I wouldn't mind seeing a digital media championship match, but who could Joe Hendry face? Maybe it's Bhupinder.
Yeah.
He did win against G-Sharp last week, and I think it could be.
It could be. It'd be a cold match, and both baby faces. So
Yeah,
I wouldn't put it on the main card.
No, I say it'd be a good pre-show match.
Yeah. What about the fact that the last image we saw on Impact last week was PCO rising from the grave? Could we see something with PCO? Could we see something with PCO and Eddie Edwards?
I mean, they are due a street fight, but that was supposed to, I think that might be tonight. But no Impact have announced it. Impact announced that they're having a street fight at these tapings, but they're off to Kentucky this weekend. I don't know if a street fight now on this week's Impact makes no sense because PCO isn't back yet. They are due a street fight. I don't know. I have to wait and see. I think PCO pops back up, but I don't think it'll be our Overdrive. I think they'll wait for the tapings and then go to Hard to Kill. I think that's PCO versus Hard to Kill. I think that's where they're heading on this one. Fine with, should be a cracking match. Okay, I guess we should call that a pod, and we'll let you go a few minutes early so you can get ready for Impact and the whole thing. Of course, go check out TBN chats with Zach Knight, with Charlie Morgan, with Dizzy Evo, and coming very soon with Leon Slater. And we've got a couple more lined up, so keep an eye out for announcements on them. Follow us here everywhere: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, wherever else you podcast. I've been at my seat. Nixon, unless you've got anything, we'll say goodbye.
No, just apologies for the dog distractions. She's a good girl, honestly. Thanks to Frank Fiat for the entrance music, and keep supporting wrestling.
Yeah, there you have it. You won't be here next week?
I will not. No, I'm on holiday. So you've got the pleasure of the Booker Man next week.
Yeah, Booker Man returns, and we'll do our usual thing, and we'll review Overdrive in its entirety. And so enjoy Impact, enjoy Overdrive, enjoy everything else. I've been at MIC. This has been Nixon. Until next time, goodbye, my friends.